So the Chachamim say how much bitachon you should have and how much effort should you have. And the answer is you should have as much effort based on how much bitachon you should have. Meaning, the debate between, in the Gemara Masechet Brachot, page 35b, says there's a debate between Rabbi Yishmael and Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. How much Torah you should learn versus how much work you should make, how much work you should perform in order to make a living. And the Gemara says that Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai says, V'gita bo yomam v'layla, all different types of psukim that tell you that you should learn Torah non-stop. You should never stop learning Torah and don't bother working. Don't even bother working. Why? Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu will provide. If you're learning His Torah, of course HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to provide. Why should you even bother working? Rabbi Yishmael says, no. You have to work. You have to work a little bit. You have to learn a little bit. As it says in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 11, verse 14, V'asafta deganecha, meaning that you will gather your grain, meaning that HaKadosh Baruch Hu already gave you mitzvot, saying, go work. It's okay to work. So what's the real debate here? How much should you work? So the conclusion is as follows. Rabbi Yishmael says, I'm not saying that Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, the Tana Kadosh, is wrong. What I'm saying is that not everybody can withstand the test that Rabbi Shimon and his students can test. Why? Because in order for you to learn 24 hours a day, meaning in order for you to only learn without working for some company, without making a living in a traditional way, you have to have 100% bitachon in Hashem. You have to have 100% confidence in Hashem, and Hashem says, if you have really 100% confidence in me, the money will arrive at your door. Where do we learn this from? From the man. From the man. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave all of Am Yisrael man from Shamayim. But not everybody got the man at their doorstep. Some people got it at their doorstep. Some people had to walk 4, 5, 6 miles to get it. Why? It was based on your bitachon. If you were righteous, if you had a high level bitachon, if you knew that HaKadosh Baruch Hu was going to provide for you, the man arrived right at your doorstep. If you had a little bit of a doubt, maybe I should get 2 today instead of 1. Maybe I should get a second job. Maybe I should do this. Maybe I should do that. If you had some lackings, the more lackings, the further the man was. So now, Rabbi Shimon, he's not telling you don't work. He's saying have a lot of bitachon. If you have a lot of bitachon, you don't have to work. Why? Because the man will arrive at your house. Whatever you need will arrive. To such an extent that Rabbi Yisrael Misamad, even motarot, even things that are extras, even fancy stuff. If you have a high level of bitachon, you can even get fancy stuff. You could be even rich. It's not just for you're going to eat, a little 3-day-old bread with cheese. No. If you have a high level of bitachon, you can even become a multi-millionaire without working a single day in your life traditionally, if you have bitachon. If you don't, then you have to work. How much should you work? Depends on how much bitachon you have. And that's what Rabbi Yishmael is trying to say. Rabbi Yishmael is saying, yes, if you like Rabbi Shimon, you have 100% bitachon. Only study, don't waste a single minute working. But if you like most people, you have bitachon, but not 100%. You have, 60%. You have 50%. You have 70%. You have, you have. So he says, okay, so work. Work. How much should you work? Depends. If you have 70%, then you can work a part-time job. You work 4 or 5 hours, study the rest of the day. If you have a little less bitachon, you have, let's say, 50% bitachon, then you work a regular job 9 to 5. Regular job 9 to 5. If you have no bitachon, then I don't know why you even leave your house, because how do you have bitachon to even survive the day? If you have a lot of bitachon, you can do anything. If you don't have any bitachon, you should be scared to leave your house. Meaning that every person has to have some level of bitachon, and if they don't, they have to work on it. But the point being is that you should work as much as you have bitachon. Now, people have a problem with this simply because they believe that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, if you trust Him, then at the best, all He will provide for you is your basic needs. Meaning, you'll eat bread, you'll be like one of these half a homeless people. Your house will have holes in it, there's cockroaches everywhere, you're eating the same bread for 3 weeks. the kids don't even have pants that fit them, but you're alive. You're alive, but you're not like the guy that people invite to their house. You're like the guy that people say, oh, stay away from him, he's homeless. Even though you have a house. No, that's what people think. People think that HaKadosh Baruch Hu only provides like homeless parnasah. If you have a high level of bitachon, HaKadosh Baruch Hu could literally make you a multi-billionaire without working a single day in your life. Without a lotto ticket. But he can do it, and he's done it. We've seen several examples of it. One of the examples is Moshe Rabbeinu. Another example is Rabbi Akiva. So we've seen many times in the Torah that the righteous became very, very wealthy. For example, Rav Ovadia, in his beginning of his marriage, they were barely able to afford a house where the entire house was a single room, not a one bedroom. It was a single room, meaning the kitchen, the bedroom, everything was in one room. It was simply like what we call a closet. That's where they lived. That was his house. They didn't have any money. Somebody came to visit him to learn Torah, and they sat on a table together, big table. They're learning. After about an hour and a half, the guy that visited the rabbi starts hearing a baby cry, and he's looking. He's like, yeah, the whole house is tiny, so he sees where's the crying coming from, and he finds out it's his wife and a couple of kids that are under the table, letting them study. So the Rabbanit didn't have a problem with it, but her sisters had a problem with it. She said, why'd you marry this guy? What are you going to do, eat his books? Why'd you marry this guy? You crazy? Well, as you would have it, Rav Ovadia, Alav Shalom, got an award from the country itself for writing one of his books. Little by little went up in Torah, became the Rishon LeZion, became the Gedol Hador, and Baruch Hashem, lived a life full of wealth of every aspect. He cared less about wealth, but nonetheless, he never lacked a single meal. He had lots. I mean, just his house, I think, is worth maybe $10-15 million. So it's not like if you have bitachon in Hashem, you're going to be homeless. Hashem will give you exactly what He wants to give you. If you believe in Hashem 100%, and you believe that Hashem can give you an infinite amount of money, He can give it to you. If you don't, then you already lost before you started. So the point being is that we have to constantly learn about this specific subject of bitachon in order to increase our bitachon. And you have to give yourself tests in order to see where you stand. For example, Asab Mislabotka used to give himself different targilim, they call it, different tests. So he would say, I have bitachon in Hashem, that He's going to allow me to study Torah in the middle of the woods without me needing to bring any fire. So he went into the woods. He had a cabin in the middle of the woods. He didn't tell anybody that he's going there. But he told everybody the story after, and they had proof of it. He said, I'm going to go learn Torah in this cabin in the middle of the woods. No one knows he's going. Now, in the afternoon, he's learning. In the late afternoon, he's learning. But then it started getting darker. What his test was that he knew that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will provide light no matter what. As the second it got dark, where he wasn't able to see the words on his book, he opened the door. He saw somebody over there holding a candle, a lit candle. He took the candle and he continued learning for the rest of the night. What was the proof of it? He kept the candle for 2 decades. 2 decades that candle was there, showing everybody how he learned. It was lit for many years. Like the candle never went out. It was one of those miracles. So why? He had bitachon that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will provide. He didn't ask how will Hashem provide, when will Hashem provide, who will Hashem provide. He didn't ask those types of questions. Why? Because he had 100% bitachon that Hashem will provide. How? That's His business. When? It's His business. Why? That's His business. All I need to do is believe that He's going to provide. Apotech be'Hashem chesed yisubavenu. David HaMelech says, if you have confidence in Hashem, kindness will surround you. If you have a high level of bitachon Hashem, all you'll have is constant miracles around you. So the Gaon Mivina says, and we'll finalize with this, but Gaon Mivina says, why does it say, Apotech be'Hashem chesed yisubavenu, that someone has confidence in Hashem, kindness will surround them? Why doesn't it say, a confident, righteous person will have kindness? So the Gaon Mivina says, this means, even if the guy is a Rasha, but he has bitachon in Hashem, Hashem will even help him. Why? Because having bitachon in Hashem is so significant that even if he's wicked, but he has confidence in Hashem will help him to rob the bank, to go steal, to go do wrong things, Hashem will actually help him do it. That's how valuable Bitachon in Hashem is to it in Hashem's eyes.